Dr. Dennis Hughes will now give us the state veterinarian's report.
Okay, here we go. A lot of topics, but I'm going to do a 35,000-foot flyover of a lot of important topics that I feel like you, as NVMA members, should know.
Pull your microphone.
Yeah, kind of sure.
2015 was a wild and woolly and crazy year for us, and we survived, barely, but we survived. It started off basically with high pathogenic avian influenza. We watched it progress west from east. It actually started in the west coast, in Washington, Oregon, and I was on conference calls with the state veterinarians and USDA people for literally 7 months. And of course, we were kind of hoping we would dodge the bullet, and we kind of watched it hit Midwestern states. When it hit Iowa, I basically told everybody, look out, we're probably going to get it. And on May 11th, we got notified that we had our largest layer producing flock in Dixon County went down with high path avian influenza, H5N2, and that basically consumed about 6 months of our life. Quite a process. I can go on for an hour or two about that. I've got an hour PowerPoint. I'm basically going to give you about 3 sentences through a process of a lot of hard work, and with USDA and a lot of individuals, we were able to depopulate that flock. What happened also was that we had a unique way of disposal that we hadn't planned on. Those 5 million chickens were all composted, which required approximately 500 semi-loads of wood chips and carbon material coming from multiple states. Another huge process. So in that proximity now, there's approximately 6 miles of windrows of composted chickens. It was a unique experience because literally we learned that for the most part, those chickens decompose in about 3 weeks. There's a tremendous amount of money that went into that process to haul that in, but that's the way it went. I'll jump to vesicular stomatitis. About the time we think we were going to catch our breath on avian influenza, we'd also watched vesicular stomatitis work its way from Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. Colorado was coming, Wyoming, South Dakota, and here we go again. We're probably going to get it. And sure enough, we did dodge the state fair by 1 day. We were fearful that we would probably be affected during the Nebraska State Fair because some states had that problem. Vesicular stomatitis went on, and we had the largest outbreak of vesicular stomatitis in Nebraska in 25 years and in the nation. It ended up affecting basically 10 counties, 38 premises. One of the fears that we have now is we think that the vesicular stomatitis virus might overwinter in larvae of insect vectors that are the primary reason why we have vesicular stomatitis. Some evidence is that's improving in New Mexico and Texas. So there's probably a good probability that we may get early cases of vesicular stomatitis in 2016 again when things start thawing. That was shown in both Texas and New Mexico after their outbreaks in 2014. So between what we went through with high path avian influenza, which basically affected 21 states, 232 premises, 49.6 million total birds depopulated. We had 5 million of those in Nebraska. You probably noticed how the price of eggs went up pretty significantly. USDA spent $1 billion on cleanup of high path. And then with what went on with vesicular stomatitis, it pretty much occupied our people for months and months. So, of course, now we were kind of anticipating we might have another round of high path again in the fall, fearful that it might come through migrating birds again. We did escape that bullet, but you probably heard as of last week that Indiana broke with high path avian influenza, a different strain, H7N8. It appears like that is normally a low path avian influenza, which means it's low mortality. But at least on one particular farm, that, as all avian influenza strains can do, is mutate. On one particular farm that mutated, and it caused a high mortality in a turkey flock. That is a densely concentrated area of Indiana where this is. There's 114 premises with commercial poultry within 12 miles. They've found 9 more flocks. Now, those were low path. They've gone ahead and depopulated those. So we're kind of hoping that this thing doesn't move west. Last time it moved west-east, and now we have to worry about going the other way. We are anticipating when migrating birds come south again. We're hoping we don't have the same situation. We've done our best to warn our industry / scare them to implement maximum biosecurity, and just have to wait and see. Quite honestly, we'll just, when we knew last year, it was carried by migrating, they call it dabbling ducks. Green teal ducks were the culprit. This strain in Indiana is actually more affiliated with called gallinaceous birds, pheasants, quail, wild turkeys, that kind of thing. So Indiana still hasn't figured out how this crossed over from those birds into a domestic turkey flock. So that was 2 huge issues that we dealt with. Last year we also saw quite a spike in anaplasmosis. We weren't quite as high as Kansas, but for some reason or other we had quite an increase in anaplasmosis. So be aware of that. We still don't know exactly what went on, but it would seem like a high incidence of anaplasmosis cases. Wanted to give you a heads up on our reportable diseases. By law, we have a reportable disease list that accredited veterinarians are supposed to report to us when you make those diagnoses. Dr. Dudley would send a letter out to all accredited veterinarians that be sure to report those to us when you discover those. It's crucial because we use that to report nationally as well as evaluate what diseases that are on the uprise in Nebraska. If you need more information on that, you can go to our website, but you can go specifically to reportable disease and it'll tell you what disease that by law you should be reporting to us, please. Out there at the front desk, I left you 200 brochures, about 8 foot from the candy bowl. 200 brochures on the veterinary feed directive, and please feel free to take those for more information about that. Veterinary medical loan repayment program. Appreciate the membership, all veterinarians, for cooperating with us to find vacancies. Nebraska has the opportunity to fill 7 shortage areas. We have done very well. In fact, we are the envy of many states that we've been able to find shortage areas and being able to fill those. We had a high number of applicants for shortage areas. We had to basically glean down to 7. We found those, and if you didn't get selected this year, please don't be afraid to go next year. We continue to do our best to try to reach out to profession where we feel like there's going to be a shortage area, and we hear reports of veterinarians have retired or going to retire. So appreciate what we can do. I tell you, only Iowa has surpassed us in the last few years for a number of shortage areas, and there's some states that literally had none. And, so they only pick about 50 a year. That's what the money's been. So if we're lucky to get 7 of them, that tells you how well we've done compared to the rest of the nation. Seneca Valley virus is another disease that's made a lot of noise. Seneca Valley virus looks like foot and mouth disease in swine. It reared its ugly head about the time of the Iowa State Fair. In fact, it caused my counterpart in Iowa to have a major panic attack. When the Iowa State Fair, there were Swine showed up with nasty vesicular lesions on their mouth and feet. Thought we had foot and mouth disease out of the fair. Long story short, it was a disease that hadn't seen for a while, called Seneca Valley virus, and it's manifesting itself more severely. So, just to give the swine practitioner a heads up, if you see those kind of symptoms, please, please, please contact us. We don't want to make a presumptive diagnosis that those are Seneca Valley virus, because that would be the perfect setup for missing the real one, foot and mouth disease. And that's what's happened in Iowa. Some veterinarians actually presumed it was Seneca Valley virus and didn't call the state veterinarian. And that causes us to have major panic attacks. Leaders continue to encourage people who are not part of leaders to enlist. We think it's an invaluable organization. I have to give a PowerPoint presentation in a half an hour to a group of veterinarians in Montana who want to start their own version of leaders. Basically, it's a veterinary corps to be able to assist us in response to a major disease. So we've noticed that we're getting a lot of veterinarians who are retiring or getting a little more gray hair, including yours truly. So we're looking for younger bodies, younger veterinarians who would possibly be able to enjoy being part of leaders. Let's see here, I guess that's one thing I guess I have. Ross asked me to remind on the animal disease traceability. We've got some situations here, and I don't know where USDA is going to come down this yet, but we've got veterinarians who are writing health certificates, and they're moving 8 animals, and they're sending in an Excel spreadsheet with 100 IDs and saying these 8 animals belong on that list of ID numbers. It's not going to fly. I guarantee you, if somebody's going to get in trouble, it's probably they're going to start getting pretty, particularly states to the east of us who aren't large beef states are really getting upset, and you're probably going to get letters from that state veterinarian dinging you. So be aware of that. USDA is probably going to lower the hammer on that. By rule and by law, if you're sending 8 animals, those 8 animals need to have their individual ID listed, not a spreadsheet listing 50, 60, 100, whatever we're saying, including that. So I want to make you aware of that's probably not going to fly much longer. Commercial dog and cat program provides challenges almost every day. All I'll say is, please don't believe everything you read in the newspapers or hear on TV or radio, and especially on social media, because we have to be very careful what we say, and because it's in the media doesn't mean it's accurate. That's all I'll say about that. I think that's the main things I want to do. Thank you.